A world upside down. We were born with two purposes all at once: to live life to the fullest and be happy until we must die. We are born in the dualities. This book is a collection of an evolutionary story for you who needs a new understanding of the world. A world upside down where you can change thought patterns or even see the world with all it contains from other views and angles. Universal META DUALITY theory is based on a simple and yet complicated thought theory, which the entire book is about, and is based on a simple premise. Everything in our physical world is built with its opposite pole, except for just one thing. When or if everything starts to seem very confusing and irritating, yes, even provocative, and you think, this doesn't make any sense, then the process has started. The intention of the book is not to provide another prophecy, a final thought form or a theory, where it is about true and untrue, right or wrong, or to set a new frame for another new box into which you put us or someone else. The purpose of the book is to create freedom and to awaken your thoughts, to activate your brain and heart, to start thinking, feeling, and acting based on what is right for you and your curiosity. The book is not based on a religious thought form. On the contrary, I reformat the spirituality of the past into the diversity of the present tense and onto the universality of the future tense. It's a neutral and universal thought form. I do this by managing happiness, manifesting and creating happiness, maintaining happiness, and being happy. A form of thought that goes up against all the outdated beliefs of hitherto existing religions and spiritualities. Not just a belief in an external force, but a belief in your internal force, which your combined intelligence, EQ and IQ, consists of. Your belief in you and your abilities makes you the strongest link, and thus the responsibility is solely yours. A thought form that puts your belief in you as a human being as number one, and your voluntary belief secondary. A thought form that simply disarms the man-made religions of their power and gives you back your freedom to live and think freely and be a happy person. A thought form without all the limitations we carry in the form of social cultural, family cultural, religious cultural, and political cultural beliefs and norms that survive from generation to generation. You can believe exactly what you want, whether it is Christianity, Islam, science, or Buddhism, as long as you believe in yourself first and use the full spectrum of your intelligence abilities first, so that you can feel and think clearly. Feel and think clearly about what the difference in the form of religions or science gives you, so that you can stand up for and be able to hold your ground, to take responsibility for your life as only your responsibility. Belief is a great tool to be curious, develop, or choose life for every day after day, towards being happy. But it can also have the opposite effect in the world of dualities. Therefore, it's extremely important that you take full responsibility and activate all your abilities, that you think and feel about what you believe in and what your faith is. External faith also needs its balance in its duality, a bridge to science and the proved. Imagine if you can be the 0 point in the middle, where they can meet in a consensus and can be united in a 0 point, precisely at the point between minus and plus in a magnet, like our EQ and our IQ. The book is a collection of a simplified philosophy of life and what it is or can be, and gives you a new pair of glasses to look at the world. The purpose of this book is to build a bridge between the diversities and learn to be a free and independent thinking person with all your abilities activated. A story about how our emotional intelligence, combined with our IQ, is a necessity for us to achieve greater capacity within us, to achieve being a completely free-thinking human being. The book is a story from real life and an explanation of part of the theory and hypotheses with its laws, which support the thought form in the form of a life story. When you've read the book once, read it again, because it all starts to have a different meaning every time you read it as you evolve. Simplicity is the result of a complexity which creates possibilities for many different kinds of simplicity, which again are the results that are achieving goals. Everything is energy, as are we. The free human being is one who uses its energy in the form of emotional intelligence, its dynamic intuition, its operational intelligence in the form of IQ, and its organic instincts in an interaction with balance and harmony, with the freedom to think, feel, see, and act. It's diversity in balance. Diversity in balance means no judging beliefs, faith, or law, with a lot of rules that create norms and taboos preventing us from being the free thinking and feeling human being nature has created us to be. A human being who is in flow with all the laws of nature for survival and the best well-being, when opposites meet, complement each other, and help in the necessary transformation from one state to another, when needed, when the situation requires so. As winter to spring, night to day, or femininity to masculinity, the META Duality theory holds that diversity, as opposite poles, is the important element for existence and well-being. When diversities meet, interact in an integration, work in a transformation phase together, such as from night and day, we frame my theory, namely META Duality theory. Here, we are talking about diversities that have the role of opposite to each other and complement each other in an integration, as well as help each other in a transformation phase from one state to another. We also use this theory when we need to activate and balance in the emotional world, where dualities dominate the roles of diversities as opposites and help each other to release energy from one state to another, from anger, doubt, and resistance to peace and comprehension, love and trust. The free-thinking man, with all his intelligences activated, the combined intelligence and combined consciousness, the emotional and operational management that we all use more and more as we are in the process of developing our understanding and comprehension abilities about the importance of our emotional intelligence. To accomplish passionate creation, measure and adjust your emotional and operational management state, your combined intelligence. Even more important is the consciousness and thus the understanding of the importance to remember, learn and act more consciously by combining our EQ and IQ, our dynamic intuition combined with our organic instincts. A new and updated compass, which is closer to the original compass of the signature of nature, showing us the way how to use all of our abilities at one time, when we are to navigate, when we act, feel, think, create, and interact with each other or with nature as various collective systems, either organic or non-organic systems, like the digital system, or what I call domestic, so our human kingdom or the animal kingdom. The free human being in balance, navigating with its original compass, designed from a human being's original signature, and again based on all of our dynamic and emotional intuitive energies, combined with all our organic, operational, and instinctive energies and abilities. We are different from each other. Think, see, feel, and view the world and the surroundings differently. We all have an individual compass, which is our original compass, based on our personal original signature. It must be updated in line with our development and nature, thus human evolution. Now is the time to update our compass once again. We cannot navigate exclusively on the basis of faith or beliefs being useful to the generations before us, where the emotions, the gender roles of woman and man had a different role and a place in our beliefs and the world of comprehension. It is not enough for us to only navigate coldly and cynically, according to our instincts, just to survive. We have developed into a stage of consciousness which demands to be in the world of diversities, where we must learn to cooperate with opposite poles. This process requires resilient, transformative consciousness by diagnosing, advising, and transforming our emotional and operational management, and by mastering all the abilities within ourselves to be a perceptionist outside of ourself. The compass of the emotions is needed to be able to use our intuition in cooperation with our instincts, to be in flow with nature's law and nature's very demand for survival with the optimum well-being. Everybody talks about love and trust, but nobody tells us concretely how. How can we understand, feel, or see something we do not know what it is? That is, if we did not experience, see, or learn it before. Anxiety and doubt is a major part of our compass and a necessity. If we must be the consciousness or the energy we originally are, then the dualities would not exist. The opposite poles have ceased because we are the free energy or soul. But then what in the physical world according to nature's law? According to the META DUALITY theory, everything, except for one thing, has a contradiction. Everything is tied to each other in contradictions and is constantly in change and movement in the interaction between positive and negative poles, and constantly meet their dualities. In this way, the different systems, cultures, and collective consciousnesses are created, each with their own original signature, their own original competence signature, their own original energetic signature. If we are to move on as free human beings, souls, energy, or whatever your starting point in life is, then we need to free ourselves from our rigid norms, taboos, or beliefs. Beliefs which create condemnation and stop us from being in the diversities with balance. Being in the diversities is when opposites meet again and again. Everything is according to nature's law, the META Duality theory. Then we can develop further into being universal human beings, free souls without any limits, as the energy we originally are. Through the META Duality consciousness theory, you manage to master a private or professional life, combined and separately, with a sustained and combined consciousness in growth and balance to achieve happiness in all aspects of life. This is how to achieve a feeling of success and create fabulous results to strengthen your health, your well-being, motivation and progress, both on the physical and the mental level, in a digital age with emotional intelligence. This is about the relationship between energy, soul, consciousness and science, and the relationship between business, life and living. Do you wish to make life more meaningful? Go up against taboos and failure to thrive? Strengthen your balancing abilities and your self-esteem? Find new ways of putting things into perspective, to see new solutions and experience new opportunities? This book puts focus on how, by changing our thought forms, we can achieve more peace, balance, good energy, and thus greater capacity inside us to be able to comprehend and handle several things. That which we do not need, we phase out. The key word here is the energetic surplus caused by the emotional intelligence, our capacity. But how? We all have a specific and special fingerprint, which is our blueprint, our physical signature. We also all have a specific energetic blueprint, which is our emotional signature, at the conscious as well as the unconscious level. We put focus on how you can learn to understand the world of the emotions more concretely, and how you can understand the concrete world more colorfully in order to create a bigger capacity and to release more potential in balance. After all, they are two sides of the same coin, just very different. Exactly like us humans, we have both parts inside us. A thought is energy. It can either give us a boost or it can drain us. It can increase creativity and motivation and give us the opportunity to develop ourselves and become more attractive. Balance is when all of our energies play a melody together, in harmony and to the beat, when we can quickly get back in step if our emotional energies and our logic and concretely thinking energies don't play in sync anymore. Depending on who we are, from where or which way we are coming, we are trained in using ourselves from different angles. This could be the concrete fact-based or the non-concrete emotional abilities, our emotional and operational abilities. In this book, I am presenting a thought form which can, amongst other things, help you with the following. How you spot how to handle your challenges with greater capacity when you know the cause and effect of the emotional condition. How you balance with your emotional intelligence and IQ. How to create a more exciting and eventful life where you, on your way through life, create wholeness in you and your profession. How you can live and work more lively and energetically, in line with the digital transformation and the innovative outside world, where you can develop your understand ability and optimize your capacity. How you can handle self-regulation and self-optimization and thus stabilize change processes to implement a change with emotional intelligence. How you can use your emotional intelligence even more, listen even more to your inner voice without any obstacles and challenges, and find the courage to choose on and choose off, to be a free human being with a flow where there is freedom to think, feel, and act in balance. How you can stand strong within yourself without your prejudices or those of others, thoughts or ideas having a meaning to you emotionally, while still maintaining your empathy and understanding with respect for others, despite disagreement or despite choosing other ways and thought forms than the norm. How you relate yourself with new ways to put your job and private life into perspective. How you can improve your understanding ability of and communication with other people who are your opposites, either as the emotional person who thinks and navigates based on the emotional intelligence, or as the concretely and logically thinking person who solely thinks and navigates with their basis in the quite fact-based IQ intelligence. How you grow your economic condition using your positive emotional intelligence instead of your negative emotional intelligence. And the balance between economic and emotional currency, instinctive and intuitive management. I want to create awareness of the importance of balancing our EQ and IQ, regardless of gender. The consequence of the lack of one of them can be an emotional or fact-based thought form in imbalance, which creates taboos and challenges in our lives, diseases, resistance, conflicts, an inability to see. We may be trapped in non-usable norms that prevent us from our well-being, and a balanced work and private lifestyle prevents us from being healthy and quality-based, lacking the tools to balance and use our emotional intelligence more proactively, such as our dynamic intuition. There are so many taboos and norms. For instance, deriving from divorces, successes, gender diversity, personal bankruptcy, passions and drives, families that are brought together, values, children, cultural and religious beliefs that set the norms for us in our daily lives. Taboos are the greatest tool we humans resort to when we lose control or feel threatened in relation to our beliefs and faith, due to a lack of knowledge, or simply because we must remember to develop consciously, as everything is constantly evolving and changing. Taboos are caused by our lacking ability to handle our emotional intelligence, combined with fact-based and operational intelligence. Taboos create and are caused by, for instance, a guilty conscience, guilt and blame, shame, a wrong version of yourself or other people, blame, self-blame, suppression, powerlessness, control, the need for being dominant, lacking integration, lacking understanding, lacking respect, maybe from a negative ego, poor self-esteem, lacking knowledge, lacking development, lacking empathy. When we talk about collective consciousness, here's what we mean. Don't try to handle me, you would not succeed. Just be you, and then we'll handle it together. Develop all of your consciousness abilities. By activating or developing all of your consciousness abilities, you'll be able to use your entire combined intelligence, your dynamic intuition, as the compass of your emotional intellect, combined with your organic instincts as the compass of your logically thinking intellect, also called your female-male management, inner strength, or the so-called feminine and masculine abilities. You can take advantage of the whole you and all your abilities by learning to see, feel, and understand, by defining the probability of all the possibilities, and thus the cause and effect of any seen opportunity, to be able to decide a small or a big change in your life. Any opportunity has a cause and a reaction effect from the present tense and further on to the future tense. The book will look at the female, male, feminine, masculine intelligence consciousness to prove how we go up against the taboos and reprimand them so that they lose their power as the unspoken and forbidden. How we free ourselves from the old norms which are no longer useful and in step with our generation as pattern breakers and strivers. How we change the old norms that hinder us in our development and search for happiness and peace, and replace them with new ones, which are up to date and do not originate from the old. Why most of our stress and dissatisfaction stems from old norms and beliefs, and thus faith. How we implement the changes life offers us, or we desire, despite the taboos around us in our family life, fathers, mothers, partners, children, social relations, ex-partners, and in our work relationships with colleagues, bosses, or the company DNA. We'll look at how we handle the taboos in a digital age, and how we can better understand the opposite gender and overcome all the old taboos and norms that come with it. Your goal in life is the knowledge you have to comprehend.